Let us continue salt analysis. Bromide conformity test. In the bromide conformity test, we will see chlorine water test. We are seeing chlorine water test. So we have taken chlorine water test in order to confirm bromide. In order to confirm bromide, we will take a sodium carbonate extract. We will take, for this we are taking sodium carbonate extract. This sodium carbonate extract contains bromide aqueous and carbonate aqueous. Bromide aqueous and carbonate aqueous present in the sodium carbonate extract. To this we will add dilute HCl in order to remove carbonate. Then carbonate is removed in the form of carbon dioxide. Then we are adding a CS2 liquid. CS2 is a colorless volatile liquid. To this chlorine water is added. Then the contents are shaken vigorously. Then the contents are left for some time. We will get a result. Now here, after removing carbon dioxide, we added chlorine water. So what happens, we'll see this Br minus and chlorine water becomes what? This Br minus undergoing oxidation and gives Br2. Chlorine is undergoing reduction to give Cl minus aqueous. Okay. Here in this CS2 liquid we added and aqueous solution is there. How these contents will be there, that we'll see. Now in this test tube, two layers will be there. One layer is called a aqueous solution. One layer contains aqueous solution. Another layer contains a CS2 layer. Another layer is CS2. CS2 do not mix with water. Now aqueous solution contains what? CS2 layer contains what? That we have to see. Now in this aqueous solution, this Cl minus present in this aqueous solution. This Br2 goes to this CS2 layer. Br2 mixing with the CS2. CS2 is colorless. Since Br2 is mixed, now CS2 layer appears orange coloration. This is the test for a chlorine. This test for Br minus. This test is called a chlorine water test. Sir, in this chlorine water test, we are taking sodium carbonate extract. In the sodium carbonate extract, Br minus aqueous is present and carbonate is present. To remove carbonate as carbon dioxide, we are adding dilute acid. We added dilute HCl. This Cl minus, this H plus is converting carbonate into carbon dioxide gas. This Cl minus will not affect this Br minus. This Cl minus will not affect this Br minus. And this Cl minus will go to aqueous solution. This Cl minus will not go to CS2 layer. Because Cl minus is ion, it is attracting water to a stronger extent. Br2 is a molecule, it is attracting CS2 to a stronger extent. Br2 is having higher covalent nature. CS2 is having higher covalent nature. Therefore, they are dissolving. Cl minus is having ionic nature. It is attracting water to more extent than CS2. So Cl minus will be in the aqueous solution. So here we are adding dilute HCl. In dilute HCl, Cl minus is there. This Cl minus will go to aqueous solution. This Cl minus will not go to CS2 layer. Therefore, it will not affect. Anyhow, Cl minus colorless. Cl minus is colorless. It is in aqueous solution. So adding HCl removes carbonate and also not affecting with respect to bromine. Sorry. Next we will see, shall we add dilute in the dilute acid? What are the other acids? Why we cannot add other acids? That we will see. One is HBr. We are testing Br minus, so we cannot add HBr. We cannot add HBr. Okay. Next one is HI. Can we add HI into this one? Can we add a HI into this one? If we add HI, what will happen? If we add HI, this H plus of HI converting carbonate into carbon dioxide. Remaining I minus will be there, no? That I minus will react with the Cl2 to give I2 and Cl minus. I2 and Cl minus. This I2 goes to CS2 layer. This I2 goes to CS2 layer because iodine is covalent, CS2 is covalent. So iodine will be dissolved more extent in CS2 layer and gives violet coloration Therefore, we cannot take we have to avoid this. So we have to avoid in the sense I minus should not be there. I minus should not be there in the sense we should not add HI. We should not add HI. So if you add HI, what happens? This I minus reacting with the chlorine and gives I2. I2 is going to CS2 layer. Then CS2 layer gets violet coloration. It will affect Br minus test. So we are not adding HI. Okay. Next possibility is dilute sulfuric acid. Can we add dilute sulfuric acid? If we add dilute sulfuric acid, what will happen? That we'll see. If you add dilute sulfuric acid, what will happen? One possibility is there. What is the possibility in the sense dilute sulfuric acid? If you add, what will happen? That point we have to see. Will it affect? Will it affect in any way? Will it affect in any way? That point we have to see. Dilute sulfuric acid in the sense what will happen? Carbonate becomes carbon dioxide. Okay. Then the sulfate part is not reacting anywhere. So we may use a dilute sulfuric acid. Okay. Next, dilute nitric acid we'll see. Dilute nitric acid. Dilute nitric acid converts carbonate into carbon dioxide. Okay. Nitrate part is not affecting uh, chlorine water. It is not affecting chlorine water. So we may use a dilute nitric acid. We may use. Then dilute acetic acid we'll see. Dilute acetic acid. Dilute acetic acid also we can use. Okay. So what we cannot use in the sense dilute HBr or dilute HI we cannot use. Okay. Sir. So that here we have used dilute acid. Okay. So sodium carbonate extract we have taken. Sodium carbonate extract contains Br minus aqueous and carbonate aqueous. We added dilute HCl. Carbonate is becoming carbon dioxide and goes out. So resultant solution contains Br minus. Resultant solution contains Br minus. Br minus is colorless solution. To this resultant solution, CS2 is added. CS2 is colorless. It is liquid. It is volatile. Then chlorine water is added. Then the contents are shaken very vigorously. Contents are shaken vigorously, and the contents are left for some time. Now what happens means this Br minus reacting with this Cl2. Br minus is reacting with the Cl2. Br minus is converting into bromine. Cl2 is converting into Cl minus. So in this reaction, remember that atomic number low should be halogen. Atomic number low should be halogen. Atomic number high should be halide. Atomic number high should be halide. Then only reaction is possible. Lower atomic number should be halogen. Higher atomic number should be halide. Okay. Lower atomic number is halogen. Higher atomic number is halide. Halide Br minus is converting into bromine. Cl2 is converting into Cl minus. Opposite is not possible. Opposite is not possible. That means for this reverse reaction is not possible. For this reverse reaction is not possible. Lower atomic number halogen will undergo reduction. Higher atomic number halide will undergo oxidation. Vice versa is not possible. Vice versa is not possible. So backward reaction is not possible. Okay. So Br minus is converted into bromine. Br minus is converted into bromine. Bromine is having covalent nature. CS2 is having covalent nature. CS2 is having covalent nature. So bromine is dissolved to higher extent in CS2. Then Cl minus is ionic. It is dissolved higher extent in water. So here after shaking vigorously, the solution is left for some time. We will get two layers. One is aqueous solution, another one is CS2 layer. We are getting two layers. CS2 is not dissolving in water. So CS2 is separate layer, aqueous solution is separate layer. Aqueous solution is down, CS2 is up. CS2 is having lower density, so CS2 layer is up, aqueous solution is down. Since bromine is dissolved to higher extent in CS2 layer, bromine is giving color to this CS2 layer. Bromine is giving what color in CS2 layer? That is orange. Generally bromine is reddish brown. With the CS2 layer it is appearing so and so color. In CS2 layer it is appearing so and so color. Okay, so we have discussed bromide conformity test. For bromide, what are the conformity test? One is silver nitrate test. For silver nitrate test, we are using sodium carbonate extract. One is silver nitrate test. For silver nitrate test, we are using sodium carbonate extract. Next one is MnO2 test. Next one is MnO2 test. For MnO2 test, we are using a bromide salt directly. Bromide salt directly we are using, not sodium carbonate extract. Next one is chlorine water test. Chlorine water test. For chlorine water test, we are using sodium carbonate extract. We are using sodium carbonate extract to chlorine water test. So sodium carbonate extract, here neutralizing carbonate in the sodium carbonate extract, we are using dilute HCl. Here neutralizing sodium carbonate to neutralize carbonate, we are using dilute nitric acid we are using. Okay, next confirmatory test for I minus. Confirmatory test for I minus, we will take a silver nitrate test. We will take silver nitrate test. In this silver nitrate test, we are taking sodium carbonate extract. In this silver nitrate test, we are taking sodium carbonate extract we are taking. In the sodium carbonate extract, I minus aqueous is present and excess carbonate is present. Excess carbonate is present. Now we will add dilute acid. We will add dilute acid in order to remove the carbonate as carbon dioxide. So carbonate is removed as carbon dioxide gas. Then the resultant solution contains I minus aqueous. To this silver nitrate solution is added. Silver nitrate solution we are adding. Then I minus and Ag plus becomes AgI yellow precipitate. AgI yellow precipitate. This AgI yellow precipitate is insoluble in ammonia. It is insoluble in ammonia. Whether it is aqueous ammonia or concentrated ammonia, whatever you had, AgI is insoluble in ammonia. Okay. Here dilute acid in the sense you are adding silver nitrate in the sense dilute acid is nitric acid, dilute HNO3. You are adding silver nitrate in the sense dilute acid is dilute nitric acid. Don't add HCl because Cl minus with Ag plus gives AgCl white precipitate. Don't add HBr because Br minus with Ag plus gives AgBr pale yellow precipitate. Don't add Hi because we are testing I minus. Don't add acetic acid because acetate with silver gives silver acetate white precipitate. Don't add sulfuric acid because sulfate with silver gives silver sulfate white precipitate. So silver nitrate test in the sense, remember that dilute acid is dilute nitric acid. Silver nitrate test in the sense dilute acid is a dilute nitric acid. Other dilute acids we should not add because silver chloride, silver bromide, silver iodide, silver acetate, silver sulfate. These are insoluble. These are insoluble. Silver nitrate is quite soluble. Okay. So for I minus, we have discussed silver nitrate test. So for I minus, we have discussed the silver nitrate test. Next test is MnO2 test. Next is MnO2 test. For this, take iodide salt directly. Take iodide salt directly. You are taking iodide salt directly. To this, you are adding MnO2. To this, you are adding MnO2 solid. Then you are adding concentrated sulfuric acid. You are adding concentrated sulfuric acid, and the contents are boiled. Contents are heated. Contents are heated. We are getting what we will see. This I minus is reacting with the MnO2. I minus is reacting with MnO2 in the presence of acid. Manganese is having +4 oxidation number. In the presence of acid, manganese undergoing reduction into +2 oxidation number. I minus undergoing oxidation to give I2. Therefore, we are getting a iodine vapors. Iodine vapors is having what color? That is violet color. Iodine vapors is having violet color. This iodine vapors is passed into starch solution. Starch solution. Starch solution is colorless. Starch with iodine gives a starch iodine complex. We are getting a starch iodine complex. The starch iodine complex is a blue color. Starch iodine complex is a blue color. Okay, this is called a MnO2 test. In this MnO2 test, you are taking iodide salt directly. To this, you are adding MnO2 solid and corn sulfuric acid you are adding, and the contents are heated. I minus is oxidizing to give iodine. MnO2 reducing to give Mn plus 2. This iodine is in the form of vapor form. This is violet color. It is passed into starch solution which is colorless. Starch takes iodine and becomes a starch iodine complex which is blue in color. Okay, next we will see chlorine water test for I minus. For I minus we are seeing chlorine water test. Chlorine water test we will see. For this we will take sodium carbonate extract. We are taking sodium carbonate extract. The sodium carbonate extract contains a I minus, not Cl minus. This sodium carbonate extract contains I minus aqueous. Sodium carbonate extract contains I minus aqueous and excess carbonate will be there. Now to neutralize carbonate, we will add dilute acid. We are adding dilute HCl. Carbonate becomes carbon dioxide gas. Then the contents are boiled, carbon dioxide gas completely escaping away. Then the contents are cooled. After cooling, the resultant solution contains I minus aqueous. I minus aqueous will be there. To this I minus aqueous, CS2 liquid is added. Then chlorine water is added. Chlorine water is added. Then the contents are shaken vigorously. Then the contents are left for certain time. Left for certain time, we will get two layers. We will get two layers. We are getting two layers. One layer is called aqueous layer. One layer is called aqueous layer. Another layer is called CS2 layer. Another layer is a CS2 layer. Two layers we are getting. What is the chemical reaction possible here? We will see this I minus reacting with the Cl2. I minus reacting with the Cl2. You see that this halogen is having lower atomic number, halide is having higher atomic number, so that chemical reaction is possible. So I minus undergoing oxidation to give iodine, chlorine is undergoing reduction to give Cl minus. This iodine goes to CS2 layer, iodine goes to CS2 layer, Cl minus goes to aqueous layer. Why iodine goes to CS2 layer? Iodine is a covalent molecule, CS2 is a covalent molecule, therefore they are dissolving to higher extent, whereas water is a polar nature. Cl minus is ionic, so Cl minus goes to aqueous layer. Since I2 has gone to CS2 layer, CS2 layer gets color. What is the color? That is violet color. Iodine is giving violet color to CS2 layer, so CS2 layer appears violet color. So this part will appear violet color. This part will appear colorless. It is colorless part. This is violet color part. So violet color solution you can see here, that violet color is appeared because of I2 mixed with CS2. So due to iodine, violet color is appeared. This test is called a chlorine water test. This test is called chlorine water test. Now we will take chloride, bromide, iodide, all three we will take. So one we will take chloride. So we are taking chloride, we are taking bromide, we are taking bromide, we are taking iodide. All are responding for a silver nitrate test. In silver nitrate test, so now we will take a silver nitrate test. So we are taking a silver nitrate test. Silver nitrate test we will take. So now in silver nitrate test, Cl minus gives a AgCl precipitate. Silver nitrate test, Cl minus gives AgCl precipitate. In Br minus gives a AgBr precipitate. Br minus gives AgBr precipitate. I minus gives a AgI precipitate. AgI precipitate. AgCl is soluble in ammonia. IagBr is soluble in concentrated ammonia. AgI is insoluble in ammonia. AgI is insoluble in ammonia. So chloride, bromide, iodide, all three are giving silver nitrate test. Then we will see MnO2 test. Next we will see MnO2 test. For MnO2 test, we have take chloride salt directly, and MnO2 solid we have take. Cl minus becomes Cl2. Cl minus becomes Cl2. What gas in the sense? Greenish yellow gas. Br minus becomes Br2, reddish brown gas. Reddish brown gas. I minus gives I2. I minus gives I2, violet vapors. I minus gives I2. So in MnO2 test, we have to take salt directly. Solid salt we have to take directly, not aqueous solution. Solid salt if we take Cl minus becomes Cl2, Br minus becomes Br2, I minus becomes I2. Then we will see chlorine water test. We are seeing chlorine water test. Chlorine water test is not for Cl minus, because it is Cl minus, it is chlorine, there is no reaction. Br minus becomes what means Br2. This Br2 goes to CS2 layer. In CS2 layer, it is mixing with the CS2 layer and gives what means orange coloration. I minus becomes I2. I2 goes to CS2 layer and mixes with the CS2 layer and gives violet color to CS2 layer. Okay, for chlorine water, the chlorine water test is not for Cl minus. Instead of that, here chromyl chloride test is possible. Here chromyl chloride test we are doing. Chromyl chloride test. For chromyl chloride test, we are taking Cl minus solid directly. Chloride salt solid we are taking directly for chromyl chloride test. We are not taking a solution. So this is the confirmatory test for chloride, bromide, and iodide. Then we will see confirmatory test for a nitrate. Confirmatory test for nitrate. For confirmatory test for nitrate, one possibility is a copper turnings test. Copper turnings test. Copper turnings test is one of the test for a nitrate. Copper turnings test. Now we will take salt. We are taking a salt. Salt in the sense nitrate salt we are taking. We are not taking sodium carbonate extract. We are taking a nitrate salt directly. Nitrate salt, solid salt we are taking directly. We are taking to this concentrated sulfuric acid is added. To this concentrated sulfuric acid we are adding. Then the contents are boiled. Then the contents are boiled. Then the contents are heated. So what happens? This nitrate with concentrated sulfuric acid becomes HNO3. HNO3. Then this HNO3 is undergoing. This HNO3 is undergoing decomposition to give NO2 and O2. NO2 and O2. NO2 and O2. This NO2 is having reddish brown color. This NO2 is having reddish brown color. So that here what is appearing in the sense NO2 gas evolves. NO2 gas is evolving. Reddish brown gas is produced. So here reddish brown gas is produced. NO2 is what color in the sense reddish brown. NO2 is reddish brown. Okay, reddish brown and pungent smell. Reddish brown and pungent smell. Okay. So nitrate salt, we are taking nitrate salt. To the nitrate salt, we are adding concentrated sulfuric acid, and it is heated. We are getting reddish brown gas. That is NO2 gas. If you to this to the contents, now we will take. Now we will see. Now we will add copper turnings. What will happen? That we will see. Copper turnings will add. What will happen? So nitrate salt directly we will take nitrate salt. We are taking a solid nitrate salt. To this we will add a copper turnings. We will add copper turnings in the sense. What is the meaning of copper turnings? Take copper wire and make into small pieces. That is called copper turnings. Now to this we will add concentrated sulfuric acid. To this we will add a concentrated sulfuric acid. Concentrated sulfuric acid we are adding. Then the contents are heated. Heated. Then we are heating the contents. What will happen? We will see. Now this copper with the nitrate in the presence of concentrated sulfuric acid, copper is undergoing oxidation and gives Cu2 plus, nitrate undergoing reduction to give NO2 gas. Now we will see here NO2 gas intensity will be high. Here NO2 gas intensity will be high. Here NO2 gas intensity will be low. Here NO2 gas intensity. Here NO2 gas intensity will be low. Why like this? Like this intensity is varying. That point we'll see. Here nitrate. Here nitrate is undergoing. Here nitrate is undergoing a redox reaction. That is a decomposition reaction. Here nitrate is undergoing reduction, that is forced by copper. Copper is undergoing oxidation, nitrate is undergoing reduction. So copper makes nitrate to undergo reduction, or nitrate makes copper to undergo oxidation. Therefore, here rate of reaction is high. But here nitric acid itself should undergo redox reaction. So this rate of this decomposition is low, rate of this reaction is high. Rate of this reaction is high. Why? Because one is forcing another. Copper is forcing nitrate to undergo reduction. Nitrate is forcing copper to undergo oxidation. Therefore, one is forcing another and vice versa. Therefore, rate of reaction is high here. Here, not like this. Here, only one nitric acid. Nitric acid itself should undergo decomposition. Therefore, rate of reaction is low, rate of reaction is high. So that the intensity of NO2 fumes will be high, intensity of NO2 fumes will be low. So here dark red brown fumes are coming. Here light intensity fumes are coming. Okay, so this test is called what means copper turnings test, because we are adding copper turnings. Copper turnings is nothing but what? Take copper wire, make into pieces, make into small pieces, add into test tube. That is called copper turnings. So this test is called copper turnings test. So copper turnings test in the sense we are adding copper turnings, therefore rate of reaction getting increased, so that the intensity of reddish brown vapors getting high when compared with the corn sulfuric acid test. Okay, so for nitrate copper turnings test is the confirmatory test. Okay, next test for nitrate, we'll see next test for nitrate, that is brown ring test. So now we are seeing brown ring test. Brown ring test, which is a confirmatory test for a nitrate. Confirmatory test for nitrate. Okay, so we have taken a brown ring test. For this brown ring test, we are taking sodium carbonate extract. We are taking a sodium carbonate extract. We are taking sodium carbonate extract contains a nitrate. Sodium carbonate extract contains a nitrate. Sodium carbonate extract contains nitrate anion present in the aqueous solution, and excess carbonate will be there. Excess carbonate will be there. Okay, sodium carbonate extract contains nitrate aqueous nitrate and carbonate aqueous. First, we have to remove this carbonate, excess carbonate. We have to remove, for which we are adding dilute acid. We are adding dilute acid. We are adding. So we are adding dilute acid. So carbonate is becoming carbon dioxide. So we are boiling the contents. We are boiling the contents in order to in order to expel out carbon dioxide gas completely. Then the contents are cooled. Then the contents are cooled. Now the resultant solution contains NO3 minus aqueous. Now the resultant solution contains NO3 minus NO3 minus aqueous. Resultant solution contains NO3 minus aqueous. NO3 minus aqueous is present. Then to this we are adding a freshly prepared ferrous sulfate solution. We are adding freshly prepared ferrous sulfate solution. We are adding freshly prepared ferrous sulfate solution. We are adding. Then we have to add concentrated sulfuric acid. Then we are adding concentrated sulfuric acid. Sir, okay, we are adding a concentrated sulfuric acid. We are adding concentrated sulfuric acid is added. Then what is obtained? What is obtained in the sense dark brown ring is obtained. Dark brown ring we are getting. We are getting a dark brown ring. Dark brown ring we are getting a. It is called a brown ring test. Dark brown ring we are getting. It is called brown ring test. Okay. In this we said freshly prepared ferrous sulfate solution. We said here freshly prepared ferrous sulfate solution. We said why to add freshly prepared ferrous sulfate solution? Why do we say freshly prepared ferrous sulfate solution? Sorry, okay. Now we will see chemical reactions. We will see now the here we added here nitrate is there. This nitrate with the ferrous chemical reaction is possible. That reaction will see nitrate with the ferrous. Nitrate will take NO3 minus. NO3 minus is reacting with the ferrous. NO3 minus aqueous is reacting with the ferrous. NO3 minus aqueous is reacting with the ferrous to give what? Nitrate is becoming NO. Nitrate is becoming NO. Ferrous is becoming ferric. Ferrous is becoming a ferric. nitrate becomes nitric oxide, ferrous becomes ferric. Then a part of ferrous is going for reaction like this, remaining Fe2 plus, remaining Fe2 plus aqueous, remaining Fe2 plus aqueous will take, remaining Fe2 plus aqueous with the NO, with the NO gives brown ring, with the NO gives a dark brown ring, with the NO gives a dark brown ring. Okay, dark brown ring we are getting. This Fe2 plus aqueous, this Fe2 plus aqueous is in the form of a complex. The complex is FeH2O 6 times 2 plus, FeH2O 6 times 2 plus. Fe2 plus aqueous is present in the form of complex FeH2O 6 times 2 plus. This with the NO, this with the NO, this with the NO, we are getting a complex. That complex is FeH2O 5 times NO, H2O 5 times NO. That means one water molecule is replaced by NO. One water molecule is replaced by NO. Therefore, one water molecule is removed here. One water molecule is removed here. Okay. So here we are getting a complex. Okay. Now we will see this complex. We will see this FeH2 6 times 2 plus we will take. Fe is having 2 plus oxidation number. It is coordinated with water. It is coordinated with water. How many water molecules? That is 6 water molecules are present. Then we will take nitric oxide. We will take, in the nitric oxide, the nitrogen is coming under 5th A group. 5th A group means this valence shell is having 5 electrons. It is making double bond with the oxygen. Now this nitric oxide nitrogen, this nitric oxide nitrogen is contributing lone pair to this Fe2 plus. So water is left, water is leaving. So water is leaving, water is leaving here, water is leaving, water leaves. So we are getting a Fe2 plus, Fe2 plus NO linkage, NO linkage we are getting, and 5 water molecules will be there. 5 water molecules will be present. Sorry, this oh here not 6, 5 water molecules here we have tried. It is not 6 water molecules. It is 5 water molecules. Here 5 water molecules, because one water molecule we have written here. So these 5 water molecules we have written here. This Fe2 plus we have written here, and this NO we have written here. So this NO replaces one water molecule. Next what happens? Next what happens we will see. This lone electron goes to Fe2 plus. Remember that the NO is in NO, nitrogen is having lone electron. That lone electron is shifting to Fe2 plus. Therefore, what happens you see? H2O 5 times is there. This H2O 5 times, this Fe we will write this plus 2 oxidation number becomes plus 1. Remember that this plus 2 oxidation number becomes plus 1 oxidation number, because from this NO, nitrogen donates this unpaired electron, one lone electron to Fe. Therefore, this NO, in this NO, nitrogen gets plus 1 charge. Nitrogen gets plus 1 charge. Nitrogen gets plus 1 charge. Now this is only we will write as Fe H2O 5 times, H2O 5 times NO 2 plus, NO 2 plus we have written. This is only called a brown ring. This is only called a brown ring. So what is the formula of a brown ring? In the sense brown ring formula, FeH2O 5 times NO, FeH2O 5 times NO 2 plus. Now this Fe oxidation number is plus 1. Fe oxidation number is plus 1. NO is having charge plus 1 charge. NO is having plus 1 charge. This FeH2O 5 times NO2 plus is called a brown ring. It is called what means a brown ring. It is called a brown ring. Now we will see that brown ring test. We will see in this brown ring test what you are doing. You are taking a test tube. In this test tube, you are taking sodium carbonate extract. You are taking sodium carbonate extract. You are taking sodium carbonate extract. You are adding dilute sulfuric acid. You are adding dilute sulfuric acid. Then the contents are boiled. What happens means carbonate becomes carbon dioxide and goes out. Then it is cooled. After cooling, you can see the solution in the test tube. Okay, after cooling, solution is present in the test tube. Okay, aqueous solution is present. This aqueous solution contains NO3 minus aqueous, NO3 minus aqueous. To this we are adding a freshly prepared ferrous sulfate solution. We are adding freshly prepared ferrous sulfate solution. If we are adding freshly prepared ferrous sulfate solution, we are adding. Okay. So freshly prepared ferrous sulfate solution is added. That solution is mixing with this. That solution is mixing with the remaining. So we are getting an aqueous solution like this. Now here what is there means aqueous solution is there. Now you are to this you are adding a concentrated sulfuric acid. To this you are adding concentrated sulfuric acid. How to add concentrated sulfuric acid means using dropper tube, drop by drop. That drop you should add here only. That drop should go like this. That drop should go like this. So keep test tube inclined and add concentrated sulfuric acid such that drop is falling over the inner wall of the test tube here. Then drop is moving like this. Drop should move like this. Don't add drop directly to the center of the solution. What will happen means concentrated sulfuric acid adding into water, adding into aqueous solution means immediately dehydration is possible. Lot of heat will be produced, so solution will sprinkle out. Solution will sprinkle out. So don't add concentrated sulfuric acid directly into aqueous solution into the bulk. Add concentrated sulfuric acid drop by drop into the inclined part of the test tube, that is inner wall of the test tube. The adding part, when the drop should touch the inner wall of the test tube but not the solution, then the drop should move. Then the drop concentrated sulfuric acid drop should move over the inner wall of the test tube slowly like this, and slowly it has to touch the solution, and the drop should come like this. Drop will come like this, and it will occupy the place like this. It will occupy the place like this. Aqueous solution will go up. Aqueous solution will go up. So you are adding a concentrated sulfuric acid like this. So reaction is taking place. Due to reaction, what is available? After the reaction, brown ring will be formed. After brown ring is formed, you can keep the test tube like this. Before that, before adding concentrated sulfuric acid, keep the test tube inclined way, then add concentrated sulfuric acid. Reaction will be possible. Then brown ring is formed. The after formation of brown ring, keep the test tube straight. Keep the test tube straight. Before that, while adding concentrated sulfuric acid, test tube should be inclined. Now we placed a test tube straight. Now we can see the brown ring. We can see where brown ring will be there means brown ring will be here like this. Brown ring will be here. It is a brown ring. It is a brown ring. Why it is ring? In the sense it is a circle manner will be there, therefore it is called a ring. Why it is brown means this color is brown color, therefore it is called a brown ring. Now in the bottom of the brown ring, what will be there means concentrated sulfuric acid will be there. Remaining concentrated sulfuric acid solution will be there. In the top of the brown ring, what will be there means aqueous solution will be there. Aqueous solution will be there. This test is called a brown ring test. So we can say brown ring is formed at the junction of two layers. What are the two layers? In the sense one layer is acid layer, another one is called aqueous salt solution layer. So brown ring is formed between two layers. One is concentrated sulfuric acid layer, that is bottom. Another layer is aqueous solution layer. That aqueous solution layer is at above the brown ring. Above the brown ring. Okay. This test is called brown ring test. It is a confirmatory test for nitrate. Okay. In this confirmatory test for nitrate, we are adding freshly prepared ferrous sulfate solution. We are adding freshly prepared ferrous sulfate solution here. Why to add freshly prepared ferrous sulfate solution? That we will see. If we do not add freshly prepared ferrous sulfate solution, what will happen? That we will see. Here you see that ferrous is part of ferrous is undergoing oxidation to give ferric. Nitrate is undergoing reduction to give nitric oxide.